Good evening, Everstrong family. I hope you all had a terrific Sunday, November the 23rd. Once again, we are gathering in the reading of Galatians, and tonight we get to examine chapter 4. Now, continuing on from chapters 2 and 3, Paul is still addressing the fact that people are turning away from living by faith and faith alone, and they are now turning towards, following the Ten Commandments, which some people might say, okay, well, what's wrong with that? It's not simply that they're following the Ten Commandments, which is good. It's that they're trying to live and be made right in God's sight by their actions and not by their hearts. As we know from all of Paul's writing, almost everything he addresses is not a physical problem, a worldly problem. It is a heart issue, and he's trying to address it head on. Now, real quickly, as I've said in the previous videos, does that mean that following the law is sinful, or that we should no longer seek to live by the law? No, not at all. God gave us the Ten Commandments as a holy and just way to identify how sinful we truly are, as well as an outline of a type of life we should seek after, rejecting the world's standards and focusing primarily on things that are good and holy and just and righteous and beautiful. However, when Christ died for us, when he was nailed to that cross, he took the sin of the earth with him so that we would no longer live up to, let's just be honest, an unwinnable standard, and that we would be made right in God's sight by faith. So we could still follow the Ten Commandments. In fact, I still urge people to do so, to seek after what is good on earth, but to not be weighed down by the fact that we are going to fail, and to seek after holiness by living for God through faith. What we're going to do here is we're going to examine a few verses, and then we'll go ahead and just close out here. Verse 3 of chapter 4 through 5. And that's the way it was with us before Christ came. We were like children. We were slaves to the basic spiritual principles of this world. But when the right time came, God sent his Son, born of a woman, subject to the law. God sent him to buy freedom for us who were slaves to the law so that he could adopt us as his very own children. So what does that mean? If you're like me, and I very much like to live by the law, it doesn't mean that you are trying to be legalistic or you are trying to live by your actions. It just simply means that you have acknowledged that Christ is your Lord and Savior, and you therefore want to live set apart from this world. But by living by faith, you're acknowledging that you cannot measure up to God's standard because his standard is perfection, and we ourselves are imperfect. So, take joy in the fact that God knew that we couldn't live up to perfection, and he sent his only perfect Son to die for us so that we would still be redeemed and accepted in his eyes. Okay? I hope you all have a terrific rest of your evening, and may God bless you.